Hello everyone. Before we begin analyzing the poem To a Skylark, I would like to give you a short introduction to the poet P.B. Shelley and to the poem To a Skylark. P.B. Shelley or Percy Bysshe Shelley was born in 1792 and he died in 1822. He was one of the romantic poets of the early 19th century. Shelley is considered to be one of England's finest lyric poets. Shelley was not only an idealist but a revolutionary too. His poetry is an expression of his desire for a better world which is governed by justice and inhabited by free men and women. Though Shelley was very little understood in his own lifetime, and he spent his last years in Italy. He died in Italy by drowning when he was only 29 years old. Prometheus Unbound and Adonai are some other lyrical poems of Shelley, and these poems place him among the great English poets. A short introduction to the Skylark. The poem Skylark is written by P.B. Shelley. Here, the approach of Shelley to this singing bird or skylark is very romantic. Shelley took inspiration from the natural world as he believed that the natural world is an expression of the divine. Shelley was inspired to write this poem after he took a country walk in Italy one evening with his second wife, Mary. To a Skylark is a romantic ode. It is an ode addressed to a small songbird, Skylark, which Shelley believed embodied joy and happiness. According to Shelley, the song of the skylark is so melodious that it surpasses all music. This song of the skylark is also an expression of the divine. Shelley believes that this song is an ideal and it is beyond the reach of humans. He believes that humans can know happiness only through sadness, which is not the case with the bird. The poem is sparked by inspiration and fueled by aspiration. It carries the philosophical insight of Shelley. Shelley believes the skylark to be a divine entity. For him, it is not a bird made up of flesh, blood, and feather. It is a symbol of spiritual upliftment. The bird also represents all that human beings strive for in this life but can never attain. That is freedom from pain of the mortal life. The poem has 21 stanzas, and the poet explores the realm of spirituality. He compares the song of the bird and the bird itself with a number of things like a cloud of fire, a star of heaven, a rose, and so on. Shelley believed that the bird and its song transcend the limits of earthly existence. He believes that the bird has an inner knowledge potentially available to humanity, and this is fundamental to the poem. In this lyric, To a Skylark, Shelley states that the skylark is a spirit. He etherealizes the quality of the music as well as the skylark. He sees the skylark soaring higher and higher with every note it sings. It is thought of as being beyond the touch of suffering and sadness. Shelley believes that the bird does not know suffering and sadness, and it is a symbol of happiness as well as we all strive for, but we never attain. And its very melody is suggested by the 5 line stanza which the poet has adopted. The first 4 short lines of each stanza remind the bird's notes mounting to a crescendo, and the long last line shows the melodious climax of the song. To a skylark, first stanza. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert. Hail to thee. Shelley speaks to the bird out of reverence. He calls it blithe spirit. Blithe means happy spirit. Bird thou never wert. He says that the skylark was never a bird. You were never a bird. You were always a happy spirit. That from heaven or near it. You were a bird coming either from heaven or from some place near heaven. Pourest thy full heart. You are singing with your full heart, happiness and enthusiasm, in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. Shelley says that the bird is singing in plentiful, abundant strains of art or music which has not been thought about before. The bird is singing without thinking anything. It is happy and it is singing with its full heart. Unlike the human beings who compose poetry by meditating and thinking, the bird sings without meditating. Higher still and higher, from the earth thou springest. The poet says that the bird flies higher and higher from the ground or the earth. Like a cloud of fire, the blue deep thou wingest. You fly away from the earth like a cloud of fire which rises up in the sky. The blue deep, that is the sky, the dark blue sky. Thou wingest, you fly in the dark blue sky. And singing the still dost soar. And while you are singing, you fly higher and higher in the air. And soaring ever singest. And while you are singing, you soar high and high. While you are soaring, you sing, and while you sing, you soar. That is, you rise away from the earth very fast. In the golden lightning of the sunken sun, over which clouds are brightening, thou dost float and run. In the golden lightning of the sunken sun, when the sun sinks, he says that the light which comes out from the sun which sets is golden in color, and due to these golden rays of the sun, The clouds start shining brightly. Thou dost float and run. In the background of these clouds, you do float in the air and also run. That means fly very fast. Like an unbodied joy, whose race is just begun. He compares the skylark to a spirit which begins its new life very joyously after being released from the body after death. Like this spirit, the skylark flies in the sky. The pale purple even. The pale purple stands for the sun. Melts round thy flight. The setting sun appears to be melting around your flight. Like a star of heaven in the broad daylight, like a star in the heaven which cannot be seen in the broad daylight. Thou art unseen. Similarly, you are also not seen during the day, like stars disappear during the day. But yet I hear thy shrill delight, but still I can hear your delightful song. So, Shelley sees the bird singing and then it disappears, but he sees that he can still listen to the song of the bird. Mary Shelley, Shelley's wife, had written about the skylark. Quote, in the spring, we spent a week or two near Leghorn. It was on a beautiful summer evening while wandering among the lanes whose myrtle hedges were the bars of the fireflies that we heard the caroling of the skylark. Unquote. The skylark was thus inspired by a specific experience, but Shelley's interest in the skylark is not that of a bird lover or a bird watcher. He is fascinated by the happiness for him which is present in the song of the bird. He doesn't say that he sees the bird, but it would seem that he has watched it leave the ground and disappear into the bright clouds above the setting sun. For he says that the pale purple even melts around thy flight. The color of the bird, its flight pattern, the quality of the sound, which distinguishes its song from the other birds, in short, is the individuality of the skylark. Shelley has converted the bird and the bird's song into symbol of happiness. So the poem is not so much about the skylark as it is about the happiness, and the singing bird or the singing skylark is personified as a blithe or happy spirit in the first line of the poem.